everybody. Good afternoon, or good evening, or good night. It all depends where you are. My name is Sam, and I'm going to talk to you about evil. I guess this is one of those questions that some of us, or the majority of us, ask. Sometimes we just don't know why people are a certain way and why they do bad things, why they're evil, or why people behave the way they do, like they do negative things or things that make other people uncomfortable. Evil is one of those words that the society and the establishment created. We created this word out of the necessity of labeling something like an action. Like every single word, we use words to describe things, to label things, to label life situations, to label feelings, and so evil is one of those. But evil implies a lot of things. Like when someone behaves negatively against another person, or when you do things that other person doesn't like, or like when governments do things and affect other people's lives. We always say, "Oh, that's evil." But what's evil in reality? Very often people is like, "So what do you think about evil? And where evil came from?" Normally, if you're a religious person, you'll think that evil came from Satan, a fallen angel that got thrown into earth, and that is this voice inside of us that makes us choose the wrong things. And so then we do negative things to people. And that's pretty much evil. in the normal mind, the religious mind. I feel like the mainstream catalogs evil as that. But what's the actual, if you think about it, what's the actual root meaning of evil? So I'm gonna tell you right here why evil doesn't really exist. Exist because somebody told us that exists. Let's say I'm gonna kill someone. I'm on the street and all of a sudden I see a person pull my gun and I kill this person. And there's a lady that she saw me doing it. She calls the cops. They come and they get me. And she thinks I'm just evil. This person was just minding his own business, eating ice cream and sitting at a bench in the park. And out of the blue, I just saw him pull my gun out and I kill him. But the backstory of this is I was 15 years old. This is just an imaginary thing. Never happened. Imagine, it's just an example that I'm giving to you. Imagine I'm a 15-year-old kid and I'm in the park running, having fun with my friends. All of a sudden my friends leave because everybody needs to go home, and I decided to stay there a little while. So I wanted to walk by myself. And then I don't know, two guys come and they ask me for money, and I'm like, I have no money. One of them punches me in the face. The other one pulls a gun, and he's like, now you're gonna give me all your money or you're dead. And I was like, well, I don't have any money. So they punch me, they kick me, they shoot me in the leg. One of them rapes me. I don't know, guys like guys. So maybe he did that, maybe the other guy did too. And they shoot me several times. Bah, 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 bah. They leave me there. And all of a sudden a person comes and sees me, calls the emergency. They come, they take me to the hospital, and luckily none of those bullet wounds, it was dangerous. So miraculously I survived. They asked me, can you describe these people? I'm like, yes, it looks like this and that. But I remember one of the guy's faces because he's the one that was always in my face. So anyways, they never catch them. I move on with my life, I heal, and I face the music, I face the situation as a life learning experience. I send them love and understanding. Maybe they were just people in a situation, and that was it. They did it because they wanted to do it. And so I move on with my life. 15 years later, I'm 30, and I'm always carrying a gun now every time I go to the park. You see? So I'm running. All of a sudden I see this guy. I keep looking at him and he looks at me in the eye. And he just opens his eyes. And he remembers me. And I remember him. He's the guy that did all those things to me. So I pull my gun and I start shooting at him. Because I was triggered by my emotions, by my memories. And automatically I just pull the gun, shoot him right there in the spot. I told the cops this story. They find it true. They run this guy's DNA. They compare it with the cold case of evidence that they had from my case from 15 years ago. And they found that that guy was the guy that actually raped me. So the judge just rules in my favor, and he said that I was in a tremendous psychological distress when I saw this guy because of the things that I went in my past thanks to this guy's actions. And he let me go. He put me in a psychiatric evaluation for 3 months. Now I'm cured according to the doctors. They set me free. So that's it. And that's why this lady thought that I was evil, but she didn't know the background of the story. And in reality, now that I understand things, I was being the Antichrist. The Antichrist is someone that rejects its own feelings. You see, there's this energy. It's an energy field that exists throughout the whole universe. It's the invisible energy that keeps everything together, and it keeps everything connected. You know, it's kind of like an example of this energy. Because you have a perception of something. Let's say you touched the fire when you're 5 years old, you never touched it before, and then you burned yourself. You have the pain and you have the experience of it. Now the experience became part of your conscious. The word conscious is pretty similar to the word conozco. Conosco, conscience. So I feel like they have somebody turned this word into conscious and used it in the English language, but it actually came from the Latin conosco, conscience. So in Spanish, conozco means I know, and conscious means I have the knowledge. So conscience comes when we acquire knowledge of something in our life, either from a life situation or from accounts from other people, but mostly because we go through stuff, we acquire the knowledge, and so it becomes part of our conscious. So anyways, I touched the fire, I got burned in my finger, it was really sore for days. Then I got the conscious. There's the fire, it's a natural force, it's there, it's full of love. We use fire to, as a tool for a lot of stuff. So I don't blame fire for hurting my finger. It was just my decision. I was unconscious of what the fire could do. So I decided to touch it and see what it was about. So now I experienced the pain and the aftermath of it, the healing process. So now every time I see the fire, I know what it does, and I decided not to touch it anymore, or at least handle it with care, because fire, it's a super powerful force of nature, and so it deserves respect, right? So now I have this knowledge, and so now every time I see the fire, I'm like, I don't need to touch that thing, leave it alone. So that's conscious, that's knowledge. But for some other people, they'll have accidents. I saw this case on a documentary one time of a girl that she was so beautiful and she was going to a party, and they flipped the car. Some of her friends came out of the accident like nothing, but she was unconscious, and the car started going in flames, and 90% of her body was burned. She lost her fingers, her eyelids. It was just she looked almost like one of those wax figures when it gets melted. She survived, but now she's at her house, recluse, hidden from society because she doesn't look anything like a human. Her body was destroyed, and the psychological effects of something like that are devastating. So she's there, and now everybody hates fire, and they see fire as an evil force. But it all depends how you get the experience something in order for you to say that something is evil, and this thing is especially created by our own emotions, because when someone screams at you, as an example, and if you don't know that you have just emotions, that it's okay to feel them, you'll pull your gun and you'll kill this person because you're blaming this person for the way you're feeling.